Hello everyone, this is Zibo and welcome to today's video. So just yesterday, Kong Studio held a 2022 Guardian Tales conference in Korea, and they had a live stream of the whole event, which was a few hours long, and they basically did some Q&A with the participant live at the conference itself, and they also shared with the audience as well as everybody who viewed the stream about the update that is to come for Guardian Tales in the year 2022. So some of these updates looks super promising, and in today's video, let us run through all this update that is to come in Guardian Tales in 2022 and whether or not this will change the current state of the game as well as propel Guardian Tales to greater heights. And without further ado, let us start with today's video. So just a disclaimer, the whole conference was held in Korean, and I got a really neat translation of the whole conference on Reddit, which I'll link in the description down below. And thank you everybody who helped translate it and help import the data into English so that the English community can actually benefit from it. So yeah, it might not be super duper 100% accurate, but I think it's pretty close. So first of all, they talked about the story related contents. So they'll be bridging some gaps in the story through visual novel style presentation, and they'll also be outsourcing their Heaven Hole comics, which will be released every 6 weeks. So the timeline thing, like I mentioned, might not be accurate, but every 6 weeks seems like a good time span for good quality work. So that's good news. We are getting like a new comics every 6 weeks. And there's also a radio show featuring Grammarly as well as Odao. So I don't know how this will work out, but it's just for bridging of the story. And I think for me, right, having more story is definitely welcome, because I think the part that really helped my attention when I first started Guardian Tales is obviously the story aspects. So the developer going back to focusing on their story, developing quality story contents as well as PvE contents is definitely appreciated, at least to me. So next pointer, we have farming related contents. So the evolution stone as well as mirror shard farming will be streamlined so that players can get more materials with less coffee. So what is actually shown is an evolution booster system, which will give 3 times more efficiency for 100 stamina per day. So basically, more efficient farming, you're going to get more materials out of your coffee. So yeah, definitely a good news for free-to-play players as well, and definitely better for progression in terms of developing your heroes, in terms of developing your equipments, especially your mirror shards equipment, your shield as well as your accessory. So this is something to be expected. And next one, for point number 3, they'll have better rewards for new and returning guardians. So this point is especially important for those of you guys who might have left the game and want to come back to the game in the near future. So first of all, there will be better rewards for newer guardians, right, aimed to be completed by April. And there will also be no more nerfs planned for World 1 to World 10. So the difficulty as it is right now should be pretty achievable, because I do know that some people actually complain that like World 10 is really tough. Some people actually talk about World 9 being really tough. But right now I think it's in a good state after multiple iterations of, like nerfs to the units, the monsters, and the patterns of the bosses. So I guess right now should be pretty achievable. And next one, they'll also have a returning Guardians lock-in bonus, which is under development, and it will probably come out by May itself. So this is for those of you guys who might have left Guardian Tales and is excited to come back with all the exciting new features to come. So this is something for you guys. And next pointer, they have a really good update. So this one, right, is probably the one that I'm most excited about. So it's a rare hero upgrade. First, number 1, Knight's party buff will be changed to all attribute attack up. So I'm not sure how this all attribute attack up actually works. Right now, Knight's party buff is basic attack. So all attribute attack up is gonna make Knight really good. Like at least from like the other stuff they give to Knight as well. So other than giving him an all attribute attack up, right, they're also going to give Knight the second EX weapon, the Libra bow version, which is featured in World 13, the one that you fought the Knight with, that bow version of the Knight that you use. So that's one thing that will make Knight a lot viable. So if you have a bow and you combine with all elemental attack up, this will allow you to put Knight in various raid teams to boost for the elemental attack. So as a Knight user myself, I do have an account that's only Knight, with Knight being maxed out in terms of the levels as well as all the awakening nodes. I'm really excited for this piece of news because Knight is definitely going to see more usage, right? Be it raid or even arena, depending on how they buff him. And being a bow user means that, you know, I can use him with my other range teams, which will increase the viability of Knight instead of him being just locked in the basic teams itself. So that's a good news. And other than Knight, other 2-star heroes will also receive a power up. So the extent of this power up haven't been like talked about. They haven't really give like big details, but I do feel that some heroes might see use in arena, right? Because some of the 2-star units used to be decent, they can be used in arena. So I'll name at least like 2 or 3 of them. So number 1 is Akayuki. So Akayuki used to be like one of the very strong 2-star units. Another 2-star units that did see use in arena is Katarine, because before Aleph, Katarine was the other range defense buffer and her weapon skill was pretty decent, so that's something for her. And there's also Rangpang. Rangpang is a okay tank, not the best, but definitely viable in the arena in the earlier days. There's also Marvin. There's also Crack. Some people did use Crack, but I think Crack fell off really quickly. And yeah, like there's quite a few 2-star heroes that used to be viable in arena. And even if they don't make the 2-star units super viable in arena, I think if the 2-star units are able to see more usage in other game modes, this will open up a lot of possibilities in terms of how the players will develop their units. So this is definitely a good piece of news for everyone, and I'm super excited for this one because the Knight part really get me hyped to be able to see the main character become strong, become useful within the game itself. You know, like I think Knight has been really weak for like a really long time, ever since the power creeping in the game occurred, because it's been a while since I last used Knight, and yeah, right now he's pretty pathetic. So this one, really excited, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Okay, point number 5, we have a new possible game mode which is known as the Expedition. So based on the translations, we are getting higher level PvE contents, and there's a few features, right? Party switch, buff, debuff to be carried over, you'll get a high score before time runs out, you get monsters wave, which acts like co-op defense, so a mix of everything, making the content a bit tougher. And there's one pointer which is kind of worrying for me, which is you must play it manually once a day, and then subsequent entries can be swept. So in case you guys do not know what happened, for World Exploration, they actually promised a lot of similar pointers in their previous announcement. But World Exploration turned out to be kind of lackluster because after clearing the game mode once, you can just sweep for materials on a daily basis. I mean, it's not bad, but it just means that the game mode's replayability becomes really bad because all you gotta do is play one time and then you just sweep for the next few weeks or even months. So that's something which I kind of don't want to see for Expedition. I want to see this game mode have high replayability. Like, you know, you don't have to play it if you don't want to, but if I do want to play it on a consistent basis, like do it on a stream or do it with my audience, it's possible. So this is something which like there's a lot of potential, like World Exploration last time, but it really depends on how they deliver, because right now all we have, right, is a picture of how this game mode looks like as well as some pointers. So I cannot confirm and I'm not going to judge too much. We'll wait until the actual thing before I talk more about it. So for point number 6, they will be developing a new 3v3 arena. So how this 3v3 work is all 3 units to be controlled by 3 different players, and we will have a 3v3 arena, team arena setup. So this is something that is really crazy, but it's gonna be a bonkers game mode if it really occurs, because think about all the fun you can do having 3 teammates. I don't know how this will work. It could be a battle royale kind of thing. It could just be like a normal arena where 3 players control 3 units and then they battle one by one. So this is something that on paper is like, you know, it's something that I think a lot of people actually ask for. I myself actually wanted it, but when you think about the possible network problems that, you know, could arise from this game mode, it's kind of funny also, because like imagine 6 laggers playing together, teleporting all over the place. That would be kind of funny. But then again, this is the Garden Tales that I want to see, because we are getting more multiplayer contents. Like, honestly speaking, Garden Tales PV is top tier, right? They really need to make the multiplayer content be more interactive, involve more people to play arena, get more people to jump on a bandwagon, and yeah, it will be really, really good. And the next piece of news they actually talk about, at least for the arena, is a friendly arena spectator feature. So yeah, friendly arena is just going to get better from now on. We're getting a spectator feature, which will make tournament hosting, or which will make viewing for the audience a lot easier. Don't know how this will deliver. Probably gonna be like a lot of the other games out there with a delayed timing, but still having an in-game spectator feature is always welcome. And for me, who's looking to host more arena tournaments, this is definitely a good news. So let us move on to the next few pointers. So we have non-game related stuff, right? So they will have a Garden Tales OST orchestra concert to be planned. So this one probably doesn't affect us, probably just going to be held in Korea. Maybe they will stream it, so not going to talk too much, right? Next one, they'll also be selling Garden Tales related merch. So this Garden Tales related merch, right? I'm pretty sure there will be people who will go all their way to buy all the merches. I might probably buy the Nari plushies if they are able to ship to my country. So yeah, these are for people who really love Garden Tales and want to have some in real life merch that is delivered by the developers themselves. So that's that. They also have webtoons and novel stories to be planned, and they will explain Dungeon Ring story. They'll talk about Camazon story, talk about gaps, convenience store story, etc. So basically covering up the gaps for the different stuff that they talk about in the characters' bios. So these are non-game related contents. And lastly, it's a bit about WoW 14. So for WoW 14, they only revealed that the NPC girl, the white hair girl, her name is not Cecile, it's another girl known as Priscilla. So not gonna talk too much about WoW 14 because this is upcoming content. We're gonna explore it once it officially comes out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for all the updates, at least presented on the Reddit page itself, right? I'll link it up so that you guys can read it. And what I want to conclude for today's video is that, hey, this is a really good sign for the Garden Tales, because 2021 hasn't been so good, but Garden Tales always had the potential. So with these updates, with the developers being more transparent with the player base, with the developers being more communicative, as we see them move towards communication with the audience, right? This is definitely a good positive change for the game itself. I honestly hope Garden Tales to become more popular than it is, and I really hope that 2022 is a good year for Garden Tales. So thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe in order to see more contents from this channel, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.